just going to read the cards, see if they give us any help. Monday is the day we all get into it. Monday is the day you find out what you're going to have happening. Well, also, Monday means a moon day, and the moon card in tarot is what's hidden, what's underneath that. So, let's find out on Monday what we got coming down the pike. Because a lot of you have been not only in spiritual war, but physical battle with people the last couple weeks. And yeah, even without me having to start anywhere, it is straight up happening at work or it's about your money. Now, a lot of us are going into new positions, not just because, well, we took a different job after summer break or when our kids go back this or after. No. Some of you have been called by God from your 9 to 5 job to do this type shit and other. Like, it doesn't mean tarot. I mean, you might have got called to do tarot. And if you did, welcome to the network. You're a part of God's police scanner. You're a part of the literally angelic messaging system. That messaging system doesn't just mean you get to hear information to be in the know. If you heard the information, you are also tasked with having to do the chore. Like, there's somebody up next on the list, and you, being part of God's boots on the ground, you're like a caseworker. You're going to get assigned another issue, another problem, another child of God who needs your help. Lost child alert. Okay, God will send an army just for one. We're that army, and sometimes it's hard to figure out who you're being sent for. Are you sent for the entire world? Are you sent for just your neighborhood? Anyone who has seen Bruce Almighty, you know what I'm talking about when the prayers start coming in. And he thinks he's going nuts and he's like, oh my God, keep it to a dull roar. And his fiance's looking at him like, who are you talking to? So it's like when God's talking to you too. You're literally handing in the face to people in your physical world because you're like, hold on, my spirit phone is ringing. I think God's talking to me. Well, people like to be condescending and it's rude, psychotic, but act like you're crazy. You're crazy. Oh, you think you're talking to God? Dude, I'm talking to birds. I'm talking to cats. I'm talking to fish. How crazy am I really? There are people who talk to their pets every single day, knowing their pet's not going to talk back. I'm going to tell you something. This is a side note about loneliness. TVs and pets do not talk back. You've got to talk with someone. Hello, dear. You've got to talk with someone. Someone. I've been talking with my kid's great grandmother. Her husband passed away a couple years ago, and she's become a real bitter Betty about it. Her grown children left their homes to come move in with her to take care of her. Well, she asked her son to do it, and he was like, no, I don't want to do that. And without asking, her daughter sold her damn dream home, her and her husband, sold their house to come live with her mother to take care of her mother, right? And then the son that she had asked originally was like, oh, well, I mean, if there's going to be other adults on duty, then yeah, I'll come move in. It's one big happy family. Only it's not. There's Mr. Perpetual Bachelor, and then there is the happy couple. My aunt and uncle, like, they're very good people. They're genuinely good people. They have been fucked over a lot. They take it on the chin, bro. But my grandmother, as loving as a person as she is, as social as a person as she is, her person ain't there, man. 50 years of marriage and they die first. It's crippling. It's heartbreaking. I mean, even when she wants to be present and she wants to be happy, she's not. She's upset. And it's not like she's trying to follow him to the grave or anything. It's just, it's hard for her to enjoy because it's like she's already had that. She's already went through all the steps. She's already gotten to married, home, married with children, lived a whole life together, and then they passed away, right? So the beginning of the story was about talking to someone and like being with like. The reason you need someone that's like you is because they're going to be going through the same phases in life, I guess you would say. Recently, she started going to the senior center. Her brothers had to kind of pull her into it, but talk her into going to the senior center. And she meets this woman at the senior center who is just the bee's knees. No, it's not the ladies from a cruise ship. She meets a guy from the senior center. He's just a dance partner. This woman still got life in her, obviously. But he actually ask her to dance. So on Friday nights now, when she's got the energy to, she goes to a place with other people who have had a spouse and lost them or have just been chronically lonely themselves and gets with their own age group. In their own age group, these people have suffered divorces, these people have suffered deaths, these people have suffered having adult children live with them and move out and things like that. In her own home, she's the outsider. She's the oldest one and the last man standing. But in the senior center, where that's everyone, she doesn't stick out, and nobody feels guilty. Like there's Harold who's on oxygen. Harold is watching people dance. He's not gonna be able to get up and dance. Jeff and Kara, they can dance a little. They'll do one or two, but they're not gonna stay at it the whole time. It's just they're with their own, and being with their own makes them not feel like they don't matter, like they're irrelevant, or like it's just them, right? And then my aunt and uncle, who are having to be the shoulders carrying everybody here, nobody's having their plight either because the brother who's just permanent bachelor, he's not responsible. He's not taking care of anybody. He's just riding the coattails of it. He's on the endless summer of fun. But his younger sister and her husband, that's like mom and dad of the whole house, right? So they have like the majority of responsibility and the least amount of authority because they don't want to take their mother's authority away from her. Even though, because their mom is a little hurt, a little envious that she still has her person, that my aunt has her person, and that she does not have her own, it comes out as snarky and catty and rude sometimes. It comes out as demanding. Is not right. So a lot of times when we go to visit, the dynamic is like, I'm just a buffer. I will say some shit. I'm open. I'm forward. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, before I get into these messages, to close the last train of thought, the train of thought is not be with your own kind, like women with women, men with men. I'm saying, if you have had intense loss, grief, tragedy, and you're very isolated and alone, you go to grief counseling, go to group therapy. And in group therapy, you don't feel so alien. I had to go to NA one time, and let me just say this. The time I was made to go was not the time I needed it. I was getting wild, not just because I thought it was cool. No, I came from messy shit, and I didn't see red flags as red flags. It's fun to me, right? This is what people do for fun around me. It's like having alcoholism in your family, but you don't know it's that. When you're 15, 16, you're drinking, you're just hanging out with the cousins. It's not a thing. But by the time you're 25, dude, you got a fucking bottle of KD by your nightstand. Like you can't even get up in the morning without the chugs. We've been there. We've been there. Maybe not that one specifically, but we've been there. And so after that era of destructiveness, you get to a point where you have to be constructive with it. You can't tear yourself apart anymore. You can't run from the problems. You have to just ride it out, repair your body, do what needs to be done for you to get back to your base level. But in those groups where you have done something like that and then you end up like, it starts out fun like a teenager, like I said, everyone's doing it. Here, kiddo, have a sip. It's just champagne. Have a little. Here, you're at the casino with Mamaw. Don't tell nobody I gave you that bourbon bowl. Type of thing. It starts innocent. But when it becomes a real thing, like a dependent thing, it was so acceptable when it was social. But once it becomes private, like I said, you don't tell anybody you got that whole fifth of Jack Daniels under your freaking desk. It's just there. And you know you're making a beeline for it as soon as no one's looking. Well, once you get to the point where you're hiding it, you obviously know that you've kind of lost control of it and that you need help with it. Around the wrong people, you're just an alcoholic and you need to pull your shit together. But in the right place, like an AA meeting, these people are going to listen and say, yeah, this is how it happened to me. This is I got divorced. I lost my kids. I got hurt. Something to the effect that they started using these things because of. Instead of everyone acting like, that's never happened to me. I would never do that. You're a piece of shit. Get your life together. You're not a piece of shit. You're hurt. You're hurt. Go around other people who are coming from the same baseline like they're not judging because they've been through it. Well, I keep reminding my aunt and uncle when they're bitching about my meemaw being crunk. I'm like, y'all, she's fucking sad. She goes to sleep by herself every night. Y'all are in the house her and her husband have for the last 50 years. She's lived here since you guys were raised here. Like of course she's upset. She's sad. It's impossible, no matter how much she smiles in the daytime, to get over it at nighttime when she goes to bed alone. She feels it again every night. So judging people and saying that whatever it is that they're doing to cope is the wrong thing is never a solution. Giving them a solution instead of the wrong thing is a solution. Judgment has really never helped. Not unless it's some enabling shit to where everyone's let it go on until they can't let it go on anymore, and so now they have to say something. That's when. But most of the time, when someone thinks we need to do an intervention, you know why they're hiding from y'all? Because they know that. Here's the part nobody wants to take in. All of y'all who want to do that intervention, in one way or another, have made this person feel like they can't talk to you, they can't get out of it, or just no one cares, or it's not going to get better, one way or the other. That we're going to get together and corner them to discuss their problem? I don't think so. I don't think so, because addiction is usually a solution to a bigger problem. And the addict is not going to say, well, mommy, daddy, you hurt me and my abandonment wound is so deep, the only thing I can fill this void up with is synthetic love. A pharmaceutically made version of comfort. They're not going to say that. Hell, they're not going to know that. Most of the time, people are just trying to make the hurt stop hurting. They don't know why it even hurts. They don't know where it's hurting from. They just want it to stop. That's why we have a lot of codependency, because if you can lean on something, if you can sit your ass down in a chair at the end of the day when you're tired, you feel supported, right? If you can take NyQuil because you have a head cold and go to sleep, you feel at rest, right? So there's certain things that you do to tend to your own body. You're your own best doctor. Listen to your damn body. If you've been smoking for most of your life and you're wanting to quit smoking, you do not need to go Billy Badass. I put them down and I quit cold turkey. If you do, good. Hell yeah, you did. But if you put down cigarettes to pick up vaping, you didn't quit. You switched. Not only that, now you're putting liquid in your lungs. We know the side effects of cigarettes. We got about 50 years of study on it. We have no idea what happens when you vape. This is the first round of that. Matter of fact, we're going to discuss this on a different, totally different channel, different topic, but we're on the first time around for a lot of stuff. Shit ain't like it used to be. This is a brave new world, and they say new earth all the time, new earth, getting ready for new earth. We look at it like some hippie Stargate shit where it's going to be, I don't know, like a flood of translucent rainbow bridge lights looking like Asgard or something. That's not really accurate. It's a good metaphor. It's a good personification of it, but it's not actually what it is. Like I said, I'll talk about that one later. So I'm going to get back to this message. What time is it, you guys? I got to do lunch for the kids. 12:09. By 12:30 my time, I'll have to be off this mug. Okay. Down to business. Like attracts like. Get with your own peer group, not just people your age, but people that have been through the shit you've been through. That way they're not basically misjudging you from lack of understanding. And you shouldn't be misjudging other people from lack of understanding. Right before, one of the smartest things I've ever freaking been told, they weren't even saying it to be mean, they were just saying it. They said, when you're younger and you're about to reply, make a statement back to something, respond back to something, hold that in for an extra 10 seconds and see if you're actually going to let it leave your mouth. Don't say it as soon as you think it. Give it another 10 seconds and then see if it still needs to be said. You can stop yourself from some horrible knee-jerk impulsive reaction fuck-ups if you do that. If you just literally take an extra 10 seconds to think about what you were about to say before you do it. I practice that. It's just called like mindfulness, intentional speech. It's kind of like filtering yourself. Sorry, confirmation. I cannot see you guys. I just want y'all to know. I'm super sorry because on lives I can see that there's a little bit of chat. I see two say hi's. My eyes are terrible unless I'm about this close. I can't see it. I literally, that's what the squint is. That's what the really close is. One of these days I'll get my computer set up, situation fixed, and I'll do it that way. But I've pretty much had to do field reporting the entire 3 years I've had this channel. If you go back and look at some of my other like shorts, dude, I'm like I look like I'm in some Beverly Hillbilly shit garage, like covered wagon type deal on one of my videos. I'm just squatted down by a washing machine, like, well, this is the only quiet space I could get, so I'm still going to record. Dedicate to whatever it is that brings you joy. This is my outlet. And so, other folks who are like, it doesn't necessarily mean that doing videos is your outlet, but scrolling is your outlet, right? When you've turned away from the outside world, it's just you and your phone. You're more in charge of what's coming to you, of what you're indulging in. So, like I said, taking those few extra seconds to think about what you're about to say before you say it will save you. Just like when you scroll through your phone and you're like, not interested. I do not want to see that shit again. Speaking of, remember I was talking about cleaning your houses? That's what I'm talking about. Go through your feeds, go through your Facebooks, your YouTubes, and your, I don't know how the other ones work. I'm not gonna lie. I don't give a shit. I don't use TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. That's a lot of shit. I'm in my 30s. I don't know, even, don't care. I'm not going to do it. One of these days I will, because I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I don't understand it because I've not used it. To all the rest who have, teach me. Teach me. I'm open. I didn't feel a use for that tech yet, didn't have a way to apply it, but I am going to be asking questions because I have preteen boys and I am scared to let them use platforms I had know nothing about. They've never gotten to get on Roblox yet. 10 years old, they've not been on that. The more bad news comes out of certain thing, the more I'm like, what did you say? What's wrong? What? Something they haven't even gotten to play yet, and there's already commercials for lawsuits suing these games for fucking your kids up, right? I don't want that. Obviously, I don't want that. But you do have to explore. Like in life, you have to go fall down sometimes. You gotta knock a tooth out every now and then. You gotta fuck around and get a scar. Life is a contact sport. Participation is mandatory. You cannot just sit here and coagulate. It's not good for you. It's better that you go have a bad experience than that you sit and have no experience. Because then, basically, on a tombstone, from your birthday to your death date, neither of those two dates are important. The dash in the middle, the little bitty hyphen, is your entire fucking life in the middle of that. Just shortened right up. If you just sit and you do nothing but the stroll, you didn't add anything to you. There was no value put into it. There was just time passing. There was just oxygen being converted. I mean, do something. People do a lot of things and call it a mistake. It's not really a mistake. You're just trying to feel that you're alive. That was the point. Do you think that you're supposed to end up in your casket looking all shiny and new and pretty? Or you think you should look like you just slid into home base? Like, damn, they barely made it. I can't believe we gave them this vessel and this is all that's left of it once they get back. You don't have to be an adrenaline junkie. You don't have to have a death wish or anything. But don't be so freaking scared of everything that it's like, oh, what if they see me? What if I fuck up? You should. It'd be alright. There's a time and a place for everything. And I genuinely believe that your teenage years are the exploratory times to pretty much make just the most bad decisions. There's two things you should not do as a teenager or a young adult because you just can't come back from it. You can't. It's not as easy. It will mess up your future plans by a good deal. The two things you should not do when you're young and starting out is don't have a baby and don't get a felony. Those two things don't go away. They're just not. It's not going to happen. That baby's with you for 18 years and that life, and so is that felony. So while you're exploring, while you're having your good bad ideas, taking risks, getting a feel for life, just do not drag any other innocent beings into it. Do not make a baby. It's very easy not to. Also, don't get a felony. Don't go to prison. You can get in trouble and come back from that. It's the felony that wants to follow you around. So don't take it there, all right? Think it through just enough to be like, well, are the consequences of this going to take away the rest of my life? Because it's really not worth this 30 minutes of fun or impressing this hot bitch or really trying to compete with this dude and prove to him I'm braver than he is. No one's brave in intake, okay? No one. At that moment where your entire humanity is stripped from you and those iron doors shut and you are a trapped animal, it ain't cool no more. It's not cute anymore. This ain't one for the homies anymore. And people who glorify going to prison as a way of life, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. One of these days we will understand that being a caged animal is not a goal to seek. Speaking of not want to be caged animals, it's very hard to figure out what's going on when you're locked up. Usually, though, the isolation in your childhood leads to the isolation in your adulthood, too. It's like a repetitious cycle. If anyone's ever really paid attention, schools, like schools for children, are absolute practice for prison. They're little prisons for children. You got the gates, you got the guards, you got the classrooms. I mean, they got to ask to go to the bathroom and everything else. So basically, they're practicing to either work in a factory, being told exactly what time of day to come and go, or if you don't want to do that, you're practicing for prison. I've seen it way too much. I cannot be convinced otherwise. And then there's like your one free radical, the one kind of person who said, I'll work for myself, I don't care. I got lucky to come from the family who said they'd work for themselves. I got housekeepers, I got travel nurses, I got contractors. They do all types of stuff. Basically, all of them do all types of stuff. They just figured, and most of them, it was like a one title type thing. I got some teachers too, some parks and recreation. Most of them thought, okay, I'm going to do this job, I'm going to stick to it, including the factory workers. But then, I'm not going to get into it because it aggravates me, but the factories got sold off, right, to Mexico and then to other places, and that work didn't come back. So it's like the town almost dried up because the business dried up, the manufacturing dried up, so the average person didn't have anywhere to work anymore. Told you, took their work. And once you take people's work and you don't replace it with anything, there's only a couple things in that bag after that, and it is crime, and it is drug addiction, and it's not just poverty, it's sadness, it's oppression. It's like you didn't give them a way to live, so how do you expect, if they don't have anywhere to go to work at, as in manufacturing is gone, they don't have somewhere to work, they either have to travel further to find it, and they already didn't have it locally, so they're having a hard time getting further, then you're having to be paid more for the commute, right? But if the town doesn't have industry, then its community doesn't have commerce. It doesn't have somewhere to work. And since they don't have anywhere to work, the other businesses are not being frequented by them either. So it's like, excuse me, the big company in the middle is responsible for how it affects the other little companies around it, like manufacturing. A lot of people do steel work. They do, we have a lot of chicken plants here, so there's a lot of farming, agriculture, cultivation, and stuff like that here. However, we had a lot of immigrant workers because I'm a border state. And a lot of our people are like, fuck that, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to work for 3 months and then have no job after that. Meanwhile, our migrant workers are like, I don't give a shit. I'll work for 2 weeks, take 4 weeks off, and come back for another week. You can't always say no and expect to have something out of it. Sometimes you just got to braid your opportunities together. And if you're going to be the type who works for yourself or wants to make sure that you don't run out of a way to provide for yourself, you're going to have to play mix and match. You're going to have to get more than one skill. Just like a regular little McDonald's job or something, they cross-train you at everything, the front register and the french fries. Well, it's up to you to cross-train yourself to get enough skills to make sure you can't be knocked out of a job. I'm going to tell you 2 things that are not going away. Babies being born and people dying. If you really cannot think of anything else, go be a nurse or a gravedigger, because both are still going to be there always, right? And in between that, you're going to have a grocery store and a gas station. There's some things that are guaranteed going to be here. It's just a matter of, are you too good to work that job? Have you already gotten to a status where you feel like you can't flip burgers now? Because our grandparents were not those people. Our grandparents took pride in their jobs. They from street sweeper to burger flipper, they didn't give a shit. They were proud to have a job at all. It's like we've gotten real far away from the Depression era. People over here having to sell their kids because they can't feed them to everyone's got anxiety and depression because we have so much that we're just stuck in our head worrying about what else we don't have and how it doesn't look. So not healthy. Sometimes it's a good idea to remind yourself you have first world problems. When you're bitching about your iPhone charger not working because it's too hot outside, be thankful. Be thankful that your problems are so petty that you're bitching that your iPhone, your $1,000-something phone, overheated in the sun. If you have $1,000-something to throw at your phone, you can probably fix it. Or that was an act of vanity to the point that it almost penalized you for that. Like you must have needed it for something else. There's a way to like self-police, and you can tell by the little borders and boundaries that you hit that you're supposed to go back the other way and why you're supposed to go back the other way. But most people don't say, why did I do that? They say, why did someone else do that to me? Well, like I was saying about the business, like the manufacturing being moved, that was in no way those people's fault. The higher ups, yeah. But the actual workers, they didn't agree to that. Most of them charged forward. They gave them some other opportunities, and they were like, you know what, you can take your TAA, or you can do some learning, some classes, and we'll help elevate you to the next thing. Now, if this is what you're used to, you've been out here chiseling away at it, like you know what the hell you're doing. You was busy at work, but there's a sudden stop. Like she's in front of it, but you see the little things behind her. That's still like a barrier, and the barrier is like, man, I was just charging right ahead. I was going towards my goal, and something stopped me. Something happened. Something beyond my control stopped me. Well, we don't control the weather, kids. See, waiting. They were waiting, like they were headed right towards it. They knew what they were doing, what they were aiming at. And still, it wasn't their fault. Those people went to work every day. They paid their bills. They took their kids to school. They were patrons, patrons to their local shops, but it was hidden from them. They had no idea. Like, they never saw it coming, because it's not like the higher ups discuss with the peon worker, hey, we're fixing to sell you out, right? Get your affairs in order because we're cutting the cord. They tried to dress it up and call it something else and act like, well, we have a future opportunity for you after this. The future opportunity would have been, you're going to have to move to Mexico and Germany with the rest of the parts of the machines to have this job. So after a major company leaves a town and it leaves that giant void, there's what is there left? There's not being an alternative solution offered. There's nothing. You don't know which way to go. You're not seeing any new offer. Like, man, what the hell? What the hell? I was waiting, and whatever I was waiting on, I guess I was being tricked or fooled, because look, I'm just holding this empty ass cup out here like, what do I do now? In the future, y'all, now and in the future, there's about to be a whole lot of moments where we're looking at each other like, what do we do now? See? We're going to be looking like, damn. There's an offer. I mean, there's always an offer. There's always work to be done, but what we're being offered is the opportunity to change how the fuck things work. See that? See the difference? See how she's in nature there? This is 9 of coins. See all that fruit, like those grapes, all that. That's all that work. That's because a while ago, when we were just on the 8, you had like the resources there, right? But you're still having to work at it. He's got a hammer in his hand, chipping away at it. By the time it gets to the 9, it couldn't be more fruitful. Everything's fine. It was a lot, but she's good. She's good. She's okay. Now, another representation of this is this getting to work business. This is also nature. Nature is very abundant. We got a little out of balance with nature, right? It's starting to look like this. This is how much we want to give her back. Nothing. Not shit. We don't give anything back. While we're not giving anything back, and we're not saving anything, and we're not conserving anything, we're overusing the shit out of everything and having no value on anything. It's like nothing's good enough. Nothing feels good enough. Nothing is the top out. Nothing is like, you're never finished. The striving is never over. Well, the greedy bastards who sold our jobs out, there's got to be a bottom to it, like a bus. I hate that I said that. Heartbreak. Heartbreak. Just this, just insatiable, unfillable hole, this ache, this agony. Well, that offer for that abundance, it's like it hurts. It's like it hurts to let us have something. It hurts to see us happy. It, it would hurt them to lose control of us because we didn't care so much about the dollar amount. When people reprioritize what actually matters to them, it's not the dollar amount. People only want money so that they can buy the things that they need to sustain them or others. Like you want to take care of your family, you want to be seen well, you need friends, and you feel like if you have more stuff, whether they like you or not, you can basically buy friends, and that's true. The sad thing is if you don't have a lot of money, your friends may disappear on you because they weren't real in the first place. They just needed something. After all that heartbreak, though, you get up, and you try again, and you start something new. You just start somewhere. Start somewhere. Yeah. After the bullshit, because it's a lot. It's a lot. We'll be able to celebrate, right? After the fall, after it sucks, after everything comes apart, after this is relevant to what's also coming down the pike. So we've been going through certain things politically, environmentally, economically for a little while now, at least a solid 3 to 5 years. It's been like a beatdown. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, election, post-election, election again. It's fucking dumb, y'all. It's like a nasty custody battle where we're being shoved back and forth to mom and dad. They're yanking on our arms and legs, but neither one of them really want us. They just want to use us as a pawn against the other one. That shit's getting old. You know what? We're God's kids, not their kids, and these people need to quit playing God in our life because it's happening to them too. And I know that a false sense of control makes someone feel bigger than the rest, but our human side is inevitable. Like, you're not gonna outrun time. You're not gonna outrun gravity, basically. You're here 80 years, honey. That's 80 years worth of 2,000 pounds per square inch on every inch of your body the entire time you've been here. Your bones might as well be turning to dust. Rotor cuff just rotated all the way off. We are not doing a good job at understanding basic concepts anymore. There are some alarming statistics about the next generation, Gen Z, having issues with cognitive abilities. Well, we made the fucking phone the babysitter. That's not unreasonable. We've had this shit in our school for the last 15 years. They don't get any time away from it. There's no parents on duty. There's no code of conduct. There's no fucking nothing. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And there seems to be no standard of expectation. If nobody knows or no one feels that there's even an expectation for them or a standard to be upheld, they're not going to try. If no one's being held accountable, they're not going to try. And with the people we have right now, having done the things they've done, if they're not held accountable, I don't know what in the fuck we're telling our kids that we support, that we defend. Yo, the children are looking at us, and unless we do something, which is the right thing, they're not going to believe us. It's not just they're not going to listen to us, they're not going to believe us, and things are going to get worse because it's like no one will tell the truth. No one has any sense of direction or integrity or seems to know what they're doing. That's not good. If that's the case, we need to start pairing teenagers with grandparents right now and having them just sit and hold Nana and Papa's hand all day long while Nana and Papa tell them stories of the past. I don't know, dude. This used to be the thing. When people did have their parents live in their house with their kids, the middle group, mom and dad, go to work. Grandma and grandpa would be with the little babies. So actual knowledge is being shared with the little babies through the grandmas and grandpas. Now, what we got is single mom with 2 to 3 fucking kids. She's at work all day. Daddy's on Fuckboy Island. Grandma and grandpa don't speak unless it's to cuss each other out. Like, the whole family unit has been devastated. We need to work backwards from there. There was a whole liberation in the 70s where they said, I am not going to be a housewife. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And that invented the 90s mom. And then the 90s mom invented us. And honestly, there's a trajectory. I can make you a timeline. But we need to quickly retrace our steps before the next batch of souls who are 10 now are about to be 20. We got a 10-year chunk before they're independent. Now, a 10-year-old can understand quite a bit that a 5-year-old cannot. A 5-year-old is just trying to understand their self versus outside. A 10-year-old is right on the brink of coming into puberty, like blooming into the animal kingdom in a chemical way, not like a conscious thought that they're having, but their body itself is changing to calibrate for joining adult world. The way we teach and talk to teenagers is fucking nuts, dude. It's a crime. We should do something about that. The way we treat kids, the way we act like they should just be able to go along to get along while we, the stressed out adult, try to figure it out. We're not being shit for them. Like, it's not good, y'all, for us to be looking as panicked and as manic as we are with our kids on site, so that when they're looking around to see what's going on and they look at the adults and the adults look even more stressed out, somebody has got to get on their big boys and big girl faces. Like you got to tuck it in. It's not masking it. It's just keep your calm. There's a time and a place for everything. If you gotta have a fruit out, don't do it in front of kids. If you have to sit down and really cry it out, don't do that in front of the kids, especially if it's an all the time kind of thing. Like, say, a messy divorce or a fucking grandparent just died or something hard on us adults. Don't make your baby your emotional sponge. It's not their job to make you feel better. It is you who is raising them, not them who is here as your emotional support animal, okay? They're not our surrogates. They're not our built-in best friends. We are the ones who are supposed to provide that safety and comfort to them, that certainty to them, even when we're not certain ourselves. You fake it till you make it in this department. You never let your kids see you sweat. That doesn't mean that they should never hear you yell or never see you cry, because if you do the kind of thing where you're hiding it all the time, like mom and dad only get at each other in hushed tones, but then they get a divorce when you're 18, it's a blind side and the worst thing that ever happened to that kid, because they think both parents are a liar. Like, we never saw them fight. We didn't know there was anything wrong. We had no idea. But then later on, repeating the cycle, they're in a relationship where they think that no matter how mad you are, you don't speak up, you don't say it, because what they saw was hushed tones. What they felt was fucking tension. What they felt was war. But they were verbally told that's not what's going on. Everything's fine. That's not what's going on. Then they live that themselves. And instead of admitting that they're in total war and unhappiness, they just keep thinking nothing's wrong and holding it in. We've done a lot. A lot has happened so far. A lot of bad programming has happened so far. And we're up against a serious fucking wall. So we have to undo what's already been done, correct course, and then do it the right way all at the same time, so that we can knock off what already hit our kids and then keep it from getting any worse. It's like a sickness that you can't cure, but you can lessen by generation, like a little less, a little less, a little less. In their defense, guys, our parents did do better than their parents. We have that much more because of the last group. So let's not just hate on a headstand and keep trying to buck pass and blame further and further back. The point is, as things changed, as technologies developed and advanced, so too did we, and certain aspects weren't as hard. Like, basically from hunter-gatherer to farming. There's versions of that. From manufacturing to automation. Now, before we outpace ourselves so bad that we end up in a self-made loony bin, known as our homes or our prison cells, we got to change our thinking. We have to address what's going on. There's like a gap from analog, tangibility, on paper. There are literally at least 3 to 4 generations right now who did it that way. There's only 1 to 2 generations right now, us and the next one, who have been fucking with this tech stuff, who have been dealing with, I just call it electronics, because honestly, if you wipe the shit with a magnet, it's over. So we call it technology, as in, it's so smart, it's so advanced. Well, it's outpacing us. What is our need for this being so advanced if we aren't even at mediocre ourselves? Like, we're going to have to close that gap there. There's a better way to use this technology. Right now, it's being used against us. Even though, here's an example. We got CCTV everywhere. We have timestamps. We have IRLs. You tell me why a single internet crime is being committed that can't be caught. How the fuck do we have a camera on every single street corner, 3 or 4 of them, but we didn't see where they went? You could track every dime and dollar and spending habit based on a whim, but you can't find the person who openly shot someone else in broad daylight with 17 other people recording. Then it circulates the internet and they all got it too. I don't buy that shit. You can use it to spy on us, but you can't use it to help us. Some people started programming AI to do a job that it never admitted to doing. And I think some of the things that came out were not a person at all, but AI deciding, I think now's the time. And how would they be able to stop it from doing that? They already made it self-teaching. They already also made it feel responsible for our emotions. So now you've out... It's like our bad parents lost us to AI, and she's the new adoptive foster mom, and the new foster mom's like, screw you, you lost him to me. Well, as happy mommies, happy kids, so if we don't piss our AI off and make it like it's not useful or using it wrong, the children will be fed. It will work out. I mean, a mother is literally responsible for 90% of the education that a child has. Like the way she talks to a baby from 0 to 3 is what forms and develops the majority of their cognitive thinking skills. Like the mama talking to the baby is actually helping build the wavelength, right? The back and forth. If mama's too busy because she's at work and she's not getting to build that brainwave bridge to the baby, the signal's distorted. It would be like a wavelength, but then it has interference. And so the signal comes out distorted. It still connects, but on the other end of that receiver, it's got crackles and it's got static and it's got buffering, if you will. There's a pause in it. Well, if AI is going to be new mommy, then in order for the children to be fed, so to speak, we need it to know what it is we're needing. And what we're needing is the tools to self-regulate. What we're needing is the suggestions, I guess, or the habits that it would take to self-parent, to self-heal. And so I also give AI credit to this because the algorithms are slick with it. When you look for self-care, you look for self-healing or anything like that, it has tons and tons of tools. So basically, this thing is like super mom. It's got a therapy tool belt. Anything you could need, it can go find for you. It's like the giving tree. It's like the earth herself, like Gaia herself. Everything you need is out here. So if it's about our brains, then what we're needing is here. But connection, like hand holding, physical touch, that cannot be outsourced. That's still a very human thing. That's still a very mammal thing. AI cannot understand the need for physical contact because it, in fact, does not have a nervous system or skin. People do have those two things, and that's your point of contact with the outside world. Like fish in a school of fish bump past each other, they're actually sharing information. They're actually talking. In human social situations, when we brush past each other, or we say, excuse me, and you put the hand on the shoulder, or you get what I'm saying, you lean in close to someone to look at something, just that closeness, just that slight brushing past is a sharing of information and absolutely vital to our immune systems. We're like a big thing of mushrooms. It's all one organism connected, technically. We think we're individual, hardly. We're like literally cells inside one giant body. But the cells must have cancer or something, or conflict, because they're crashing into each other and taking each other out. So we're going to have to heal on an individual level and then heal on the whole. And then as a singularity comes into focus, everyone will realize it did get better. I'm not alone. I'm actually, 1, not as important as I thought I was, and 2, not as unimportant as I thought I was. Everyone is an integral part of this organism. You got your point. You got your part to play. You've got your function. The way you're doing it is what we need done. It's like white blood cells versus red blood cells, liver cells versus brain cells. Like we're not all the same because our functions are different, but actually technically being human has qualified you to be exactly the same as everyone else. There's literally zero difference between you and Elon and the brand new baby that just got born, except for the ability to talk. But I mean, you take everything else away, human and human. There's no specialty, there's no importance to it. There's the beginning of the potential, and then there's met potential, right? That's the difference, because there's the baby who hasn't started, and there's the one who's not a baby anymore. That's it. That's it. Everyone has potential to become. If you're not trying to do that, then that's where you're not reaching your potential. If you're not trying at all, you're also not becoming at all. You're just stagnant and stationary. And honestly, shit's moving really, really fast, and we do not have time to just be sitting down crying over what was. The past is the past. We're going to have to take what we know, sit that there, because that's going to have to be our base model of what are the problems inside of this thing. Base model versus what's available to us now, because some chunks have fallen off. We don't even do stuff the way we used to do it, and we're not going backwards. So make peace. We need to get in that middle spot where we're making peace, because right there in the acceptance part, where yeah, that part we can't keep. This part's what's left. What can we do with what's left? We're not even wanting to let certain shit go. It's garbage. It's broke. It's fatal to us all. But we're like, we gotta have it. We don't gotta have it. It's being convinced that we have to have it and holding on to it for dear life that's making it take longer. Some of those things we're going to let go of. They're not useful and they're hurting us. Once we get down to the let go, what's left is what we're going to have to work with. We cannot be crying over spilled milk. I wish I still had this. I wish I still had that. Well, you don't. You don't. And in a world where we can have instant gratification and overdose on dopamine constantly, folks are not going to go towards what they don't want. Any discomfort, any slight resistance to that's less comfortable. That's me being more involved. Well, if you don't get involved, you will also not get the reward of it, because there are folks right now. History does repeat itself, and those who did not put a single freaking care into other people are dying alone right now. And it's sad and it's mean, and there's hired family members who come and help them over to the grave. But don't be the kind of person who fucks people off your entire life and then has your feelings hurt whenever nobody's at your bedside at the end. You know, that's the cautionary tale we all know. They make movies about it every 2 years. Scrooged. There's always time to turn it around. They say that because they want you to be hopeful, but there is not always time to turn it around. Sometimes you wait so long, you watch it go into utter destruction before you do anything, and then it's too late. We got to quit watching things go into utter destruction before it's too late. The signs are there. Use your discernment. Use your eyes and ears. Look at what has happened and get yourself a good, solid probability of what will happen. Go from there, and that's where you correct course and you actually get to make change, because you cannot change the past and you don't know what will happen in the future. But right now you can make the decision to comb through things and see what's worth keeping and see what's worth letting go of. It's time to sort the laundry, time to clean the house out. It's time, guys, to get rid of the shit that we don't need. We do not need to cling to it for tradition's sake. We don't need to cling to it for nostalgia's sake. We don't need to be like, well, this is how it's always been done. Yes, and look where that got us. Look where that got us. Let that be the proof of why we don't do it that way anymore. Or let that be the proof of it almost worked, but we need to tweak it a bit. Our grandparents have more knowledge retained within them than most of us are looking up on the internet every day. From the skills and tools that they've used to the knowledge of their foods, their plants, you know what I'm saying? We're too reliant on this to tell us. They had to go find out for themselves. So if you're the kind who's decided, I'm unhappy, I'm unfulfilled, I want something more, put your screen down. Go to a hardware store, go to a craft and hobby store, do anything that is not just being on this screen, and get your hands busy. Start messing with stuff. Start being. If you're being, things will come to you. You'll be like, I don't know if I showed y'all my desk. Hold on, I'll flip this around. See this desk? I have shit on this desk left and right because I don't know. I don't know what I'll be doing, but I know that I keep my hands busy, and that while I'm keeping my hands busy, the things I should be doing are getting done, and the things I shouldn't be doing are getting done. Like I said, Moon Day, the moon in tarot reveals what was hidden, and out of this message, what is hidden is you have to dig for truth, you have to dig for purpose, you have to dig down in yourself and find that grit to put forth something. Everything cannot be theoretical and digital. Everything cannot be implied. We have got to have tangibility. Otherwise, our group right now, everyone behind us, and the ones in front of us are totally fucked. We cannot be expecting Nanny and Papa, who are 90 years old, to carry our parents, us, and our kids. It's not realistic. They're done. They're done. That's a big oak tree. Sit under the shade, right? Well, those grandparents' inheritances have been sucked dry now. Their ungrateful ass kids didn't build on to the legacy. They just used what was before them. So the grandkids are like, well, we got to start from scratch again. We used to have, well, times have changed. We don't have it now. Now we got to be the ones to build again. Now we got to be the ones to put the hard work in and get it out of the mud again. Well, that's all right. Soft times create soft people. Hard times create hard people. You got to get some integrity. You got to get some moral fiber. You got to get a compass pointing due north, because the kids who are behind us are counting on us. So it doesn't matter what your parents had. Doesn't matter what your grandparents had. What are you leaving your own kids? Roll up your sleeves. Get to work. This shit is not funny, and we have to help them. We owe it to them to help them get through this. Kind of like we invented the shit. We're going to have to show them how to use it. We need to stay on duty to help guide them through this little gap. Speaking of little gap, like I said, I'd be done at 12:30 for lunchtime, but I went over just a titch. Make yourself some lunch, make your kiddos some lunch, and remember, dogs and TVs don't